Hey everybody, it's Carson Charisma here, and I just wanted to hop on really quickly. I got a message a couple of days ago from an old friend of mine. We've known each other for years. She's known me since I was a little girl. We actually used to cheer together, and me, her, as well as her sister, we all cheered together. And her grandpa was awesome. I think it was Christmas Eve, he would like roast this pig, like this open faced pig, and we'd eat the pig, and he had this special dipping sauce. And so we go way back. But I mention this because, again, like I said, she messaged me, and in the message, she sent me this picture. And first and foremost, it was pretty cool that she messaged me because, she felt strongly about the picture that I'm about to show you guys, and she wanted my input. So I thought that was pretty cool. But here's the picture. And the picture is basically this Caucasian male asking another Caucasian female to prom. And he says, I know you are into black guys, but let's try something different, something to that extent. You guys see the picture. And she was pretty much kind of like really upset about it. She was like, dude, I don't like this. I don't think it's appropriate. She is a white female, and she said, I've dated black men before. I dated a black guy for 5+ years, and it's baffling to me that this young man thinks this is appropriate. And I fully agree with her. It's not appropriate at all. But I think it goes to show that for me, she was so kind of like, wow, like, why would he do this? Like, I don't understand. It's not okay because in her eyes, she's dated a black guy. She has, mixed people in her family, and her family's a melting pot. And, she doesn't see race, right? She doesn't see race. But for me, it's almost something of normalcy because it's white privilege, and it's something that I witness every day. White men saying and doing things, ignorant things, and things that you can tell they're entitled and they're privileged. And this is one of those incidents. So it's like, I don't necessarily see it as like baffling because it's almost like you expect it at this point. And it's kind of scary that it's gotten to this point. But she wanted my input about it. And again, for me, it just goes to show that he's ignorant. It goes to show that he's very privileged as a young white male in America, that he can even think this is okay, that he could think that this is a proper way to ask a female to prom. Everybody wants to be asked to prom, and we want it to be special, and we want it to be sweet, and I never got asked to prom. Yeah, I never got asked to prom. I wonder why I never got asked to prom. Hillcrest High School, anybody? Any of the guys? Why y'all didn't ask me to prom? But anyway, I'm going to get out my feelings. I just don't understand why I never got asked to prom, but whatever. That's besides the point. The thing is, being asked to prom is an awesome thing. It's a great feeling, I'm sure. I wouldn't know because I never got asked, but I'm sure that it's a pretty awesome thing. So, and there's plenty of ways to do it. So it's like, why this way? Like, who cares what she's into? And maybe she's into those black guys because they have a little bit more class than you do. Clearly, you don't have any. And, this guy what's really crazy to me is he is a commit to a major university. And yeah, I did a little creeping. I did my research. He's a commit to a major university. He has 3,000 plus followers on Instagram. And it's kind of like, you have a strong following. And believe it or not, everything you do, everything you say, people are watching. Whether it be a mass amount of people or not, someone is taking notice to the things that you do and say and the things that you're posting on social media. So it's like he already has a pretty big following. So imagine how big his following is going to get when he goes to this university. And, there's going to be little kids who look up to him as a football commit and say, oh my gosh, like, I want to follow him on Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media platform it may be. And then they see this and it's like, it's almost condoning it. It makes it seem like it's okay and that it's just a funny thing. And it's not at all. And again, it goes to show what I've been saying and what I will continue to say. And some of you may not like me for it, and that's fine. I don't care. But I'll say it again. If you are not a white man in America, if you're not a white man in America, but you think that you are equal to one, you're either dumb or you're brainwashed, because that's just not the case. And yes, white women, I am speaking to you too. If you are not a white man in America but think you're equal to one, you're either dumb or you're brainwashed. Because there is a hierarchy a hierarchy in America. And white men are here and everyone falls beneath that. And that's just the reality of the situation. It's been that way for years. I mean, go look in a textbook. It's been that way for years. And it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. But I mean, it just goes to show, like the case. I know you guys watched that. I mean, it was massive. It was all over the news. Brock Turner, the young man who, was an athlete going to this great school, and he just made a mistake and sexually assaulted an unconscious girl behind a dumpster. And so you have him in his case, and then you have this case of Corey Beatty. Him and his friends pretty much do the same thing. He is an athlete at a great prestigious school, and, he does the same thing. He assaults an unconscious woman. So the only two things separating these two individuals is the color of their skin, and one gets 6 months in prison, only serves 3, and the other one gets 15 years. And the only thing separating the two is the color of their skin. Do you see what I'm saying? So that just goes to show that there is a massive problem, not only with, our criminal justice system, but just America in general. There's a massive issue behind that, a massive issue. And I encourage you guys to read the book, The New Jim Crow. It's by Michelle Alexander. And, it just kind of goes into the mass incarceration of black men. Same thing with the movie, or the documentary, I should say, The 13th on Netflix. Watch it. It's so important to watch. And it doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, purple, green. You need to be aware. You need to be aware of the situation that's at hand, because it's real. It's a real situation. And so I encourage you guys to watch that documentary, read that book. Again, it's called The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, and it's a really great book, and it opens your eyes to a lot. And I know a lot of people will look at this video and say, wow, Carson, chill out. It's just a picture. He's asking a girl to prom. He mentions her dating black guys. It's not that big of a deal. But this little small thing is a window into a massive issue, like mass incarceration, or like our criminal justice system, where a white man and a black man can commit the same crime, but a white man gets 6 months and serves 3 of those 6 months, and the other who commits the same crime, a black man, gets 15 years. Or whereas, when there's hurricane victims like Katrina years and years ago, a white person found a loaf of bread and a black person or a Hispanic person was looting, right? It goes, this little thing leads into something major and massive, and I want you guys to be aware of it. So yeah, it may seem like it's funny, it's cute, he just asked her to prom, she normally dates black guys, whatever. It just shows privilege. It shows that white privilege is real. Because if a black man had asked a white girl, number one, people would have thought that a lot of people, and I won't say everybody, but some people would have thought that would have been a problem, because there's not a lot of people who agree with interracial relationships. And, I don't necessarily know if I do or don't. I think I'm indifferent. My first boyfriend was white. His name was Nick in first grade, and he had the Justin Bieber hair. He was a cutie. But ever since then, I've never dated, and I can't really say I dated a white guy in first grade. I mean, he was my first little boyfriend, But I've never really dated outside of my race. I'm not necessarily opposed to it. Do I want beautiful black babies? Yes. But am I opposed to having beautiful mixed babies? No, not at all. And National Geographic, look it up. It says in, I think, 2030 almost, everybody will look mixed anyway, And I mean, if you want to think about it, really, really dig deep, we're all mixed now, that's another thing I encourage you guys to do. Check your ancestry, do a DNA test, find out what parts of the world you're from. You'll be surprised what you have in you. All the melting pot of who you are. You'll be definitely surprised. But I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts with that. Shout out to my Facebook friend and longtime friend who sent me the picture. I appreciate you watching the videos, and I appreciate you kind of showing me this and bringing this to my attention. So now I have brought it to you all's attention. I want to know how you feel about the picture. Is it appropriate? Is it okay? Is it funny? Is it a big deal? Is it not a big deal? Is this a small gateway into a big problem? Does white privilege exist? Let me know your thoughts. I'm curious to hear what you all have to say. So I love you a lot, and I'll be looking forward to hearing some of the things you have to say. Also, please, 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 if you ever have any topics or anything that you would like to hear my input or you just want to discuss, whether it be me making a video or us just talking back and forth via messaging, feel free to send that over to me. But I love you guys, and I hope you have a good night.